So we're going to get started. Today I'm going to go over really some good fundamental thoughts about Facebook just to help you guys kind of refocus and get to where you need to get to. I think that probably 80% of the agencies that are struggling with Facebook, they just don't have any type of game plan in place, and it makes it hard. It makes it hard to be successful. So I read a great, I'll just kind of start off by saying I read a great article. It was about a week ago. It was in the Wall Street Journal, and it was made up of over 500 insurance, CFPs, and accountants that took this survey. And long story short, the Wall Street Journal found that companies that posted on Facebook at least 4 times a week saw an increase in their annual retention. And this survey was over a 2-year period. I think it was from like June 2010 through June 2012. So all these companies were obviously surveyed for that period. And the companies that, again, that posted 4 times a week saw an increase in retention, saw a retention level of 87%, whereas companies not using Facebook at all had an average retention of 82%. Companies that also were posting 4 times a week saw an increase in referrals of 16%. So, I always get bombed with people saying, well, what's the ROI on this stuff? It's really hard to say. It's different for everyone. But I'll find this article and send it out to everyone. This was kind of one of the first kind of reports that I've seen that's really specific to our industry that kind of proves everything I've been saying for a long time. And that is that Facebook is all about retention. And I guess that's kind of the foundation of today's webinar. I seem to, a lot of people come to me and they say, Ken, how can I use Facebook? How can I use Facebook to get new clients? That's what I want. I want new clients. I want new clients. And I often find, don't take this personally, but I often find that agencies that are just dire for clients tend to have retention problems, and that's why they always want new clients. So I guess my point is that what we're going to cover today is we're really going to talk about how to get Facebook going with your current clients first. And everyone on today's call has been in the business a long time. The insurance industry is pretty simple. It's about getting a client base, offering great service, having that percentage each year that retains, and then getting referrals that hopefully makes you more profitable each year as you move forward. The bigger your book, the more referrals you get, the bigger your book is next year. And, as always, it's a numbers game. How many people can we get in front of? And obviously, how many people are going to come to us that year with a need for the products we offer, no matter what products you sell. So I guess my point is, I'm going to go through and show you a few examples here in a second. I think my point is phase 1 for being successful with social media is focusing on your current block of business. And that's where a lot of agencies go wrong. They often say, how do I get people that don't know me to follow us on Facebook? That's kind of the second part to the deal. So let me show you an example of an agency we're helping with our social media management service. And these guys came to me about 1.5 years ago. And, like always, basically our social media management service is pretty simple. We do the posting for agencies that don't have the time to do it. And what I always tell everybody is look, it's our job to do the posting for you. It's your job to get this number of likes increased. It's your job to market the social media tool out to your book of business. That's where it starts. So when these guys came to me, they had about 55 fans. I remember it. And they said, hey, look, we've had about 55 likes. We can't get any more. We don't know what to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what I tried to explain to them was, look, how many clients do you have? And they said, well, we have about 2,300 or something clients. And I said, well, your goal should be 1,100 fans. 50% of your in-force book should be connected to you on social media. And they said, well, why do we want to tap into our clients? How is that going to help us? And to me, right off the bat, that's a ridiculous statement. Obviously, you want to stay in front of your clients as much as possible, because if you don't stay on their minds, the competition is intense. They're going to take a percentage of your clients. So entrepreneurial common sense states that it's always a good idea to touch your clients to keep your brand on their minds. It's going to equal higher retention, and it's obviously going to equal more cross-sales. So the thing I worked on with them was I said, okay, look, there's a step-by-step process here to get to the next level. Step one is to make sure you're actually posting, 4 or 5 times a week. So, if you go through, you'll see that I've been doing that for them. They hired me to do that. But my point is, that was the first step, getting that consistency. Then the second step was up to them. So step one, post 4 or 5 times a week for really 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. Step two is to then reach out to all of your clients and to tell them about the social media presence and to tell them to become connected to you. So most common question, well, Ken, how do we tell them? Okay, well, you're going to use different methods. One, you should use some form of email marketing. Okay. 2, if you're sending out renewal notices, you should have, some sort of marketing piece that you're stuffing into the renewal notice. I know a lot of you guys actually send renewals out in the mail. Stuff in a thing in there. Put it in there. You want to try to use different means of marketing to get the presence out there. Next most common question, well, Ken, how many times should we do this? When do we stop? And the answer is you never stop. You probably want to be marketing the social media presence once a quarter out to your entire book of business, even if they're already connected to you. And that's what we've done with these guys. A year and a half later, 55 fans to 900 fans, and now it's all, now it's flowing. Retention is increased. They're getting more referrals. And more importantly, they look like a stronger agency. So let me kind of give you a tip and some advice here. Most common problem I see is people having no idea how to tell their clients to become fans of the agency. This is what I see mostly. I get emails on LinkedIn. I get normal emails. I see stuff posted on Facebook. This is what the beginner tries to do. Hey, we're on Facebook. Please like Bob's Insurance's Facebook page. That will not work. That's going to get you 1 out of 1,000 people is going to become a fan. What I suggest is something similar to this, and I can email anybody this verbiage if you want it afterwards. Here's what I suggest you do when you're email marketing or you're doing stuffers or you're marketing on LinkedIn to get people to go to Facebook, something like this. Bob's Insurance continues to use technology and innovation to keep its clients in the loop when it comes to industry changes and updates. We've created a special Facebook business page that offers industry news, ideas, and fun tips. Just go to facebook.com/Bob's Insurance and click the like button at the top middle of the screen to receive our free value. Contact us if you want us to walk you through the process. So I guess my point, guys, is that's really what you need to be doing when it comes to marketing. You have to, and for whatever reason, a lot of agencies struggle with marketing to some extent. Facebook, social media, they're kind of what gets people's attention, okay? It's almost irrelevant if they like it or if they don't like it. My point is this is going to get your agency in front of your client or a potential client. They're more likely to read this. And, what I've tried to do with some of this verbiage is to create a little energy for your agency. So at least, even if the person doesn't connect with you on social media, at least they're thinking, hey, these guys at Bob's Insurance, yeah, they're investing in their company. Looks like they're ahead of the curve with social media. Good for them. At least you've planted that seed in your client and potential client's mind that, hey, we're investing. We're sticking with the times. And let's face it, guys, there are so many insurance agencies out there that Grandpa started the company, Dad ran it, and now the grandkids are running it. They haven't put a dime in their company in 50 years. They've had a few really big accounts that's kind of fed them for that whole time period. They're behind the curve, and there's a lot of clients who are frustrated in that. And this is exactly how you get new business. So that's kind of the first part of the game. How do I get that number to increase? And it's about tapping into your client base. The second part of the game is posting and getting interaction when you post. So the next question I always get is, well, how do we get referrals, Ken? I don't understand. All the people that are seeing our posts are our clients. How do we get referrals from them. So first kind of question out to you guys is well, where does a referral come from, and who is the referral? I'm willing to bet that probably 95% of every referral you got is your clients. It's either their family or their friend, right? That's probably who the referral is. So here's the deal with Facebook. When you post something, right, so these guys, Cheney, they posted something, a little definition of the day. It went out to these 916 people, okay? And, again, they just posted it, so this isn't the best, you know, I'm sure they're going to get more interaction. But you'll see that this Katrina, she commented on the post. And what we can see with about Katrina is that Katrina had 197 friends, okay? So because she commented, boom, this post went out to 916 plus her 197 friends. So my point is Cheney Insurance just got exposure to all of Katrina's friends. And, you know, that's really the game. I mean, I know that sounds kind of simple and stupid, but I think my point is this. My point is if you can post 4 or 5 days a week, and you can get your clients to click the like, the comment, and the share button, now your post, but more importantly, your logo, your brand, is now going in front of your clients' friends and family. So most common question I get is, well, Ken, what kind of things should we be posting? I hate to say it, but it's almost irrelevant. I don't care what you post. There's a goal. The goal is to get the people to click like, comment, and share, okay? So how do we do that? In my opinion, and what I do for our social media management clients, I like to supply a really healthy balance of posting. Probably 33% of the time, I try to promote the agency, what you sell, where you are, the website. 33% of the time, I like to do projecting to be an expert, tips, you know, definitions of the day, articles that are relevant. And then the other 33% of the time, I don't talk about insurance at all. You know, I have a few clients in New York. I did a post about the Knicks game this morning, got about 15 comments. You know, so my point is things that get people paying attention. So I guess to rewind, my point is social media is not a transactional environment. You're not going to get sales on social media. Social media, and specifically Facebook, it's about the numbers game. It's about getting your clients connected to you. So at the very bare minimum, at least you're in front of them, they're paying attention to you. But more importantly, we're trying to post things that they interact with, that they comment, like, and share. So then our logo and our brand goes in front of their friends and family. And, you know, so a few people comment. Is that guaranteeing you referrals that day? Absolutely not. It's not guaranteeing you anything. But I think my point is it's a marathon. It never ends. It's 4 or 5 days a week, constantly doing this. And if you can implement that strategy of consistency, constantly growing your distribution, and constantly tapping into friends and family, then you're playing the numbers game, which, again, my grandfather was in this business. My father was in the insurance business. I'm pretty sure if my grandfather was alive today and I asked him, what is the key to success in the insurance business, he'd tell me it's a numbers game, Ken. Get in front of as many people as you can every day. Project yourself to be an expert. Project yourself to be a specialist. And a certain percentage of those people are eventually going to need a specialist to guide them to the right solution. And that's all I'm saying with Facebook. It's about patience, consistency, getting those numbers in your favor, doing the little things right with the constant posting, and posting things that people pay attention to, and your phone will ring more. Reason I know that, that's exactly what I do. And that's exactly how I've grown kind of my Facebook page. You know, it's constantly adding likes, and it's constantly posting things that get the interaction, and certainly project myself to be an expert in my field. So I see a few questions. Let me try to answer them, and then you know, we'll go from there. So just a few people saying, hey, Ken, can you please send me over the verbiage? You know, we'll certainly do that. Next question is, it's a good one. You know, Ken, we do birthday cards. You know, we send those out to our clients. Do you recommend that we promote our social media presence in those cards? Yeah, I would say absolutely. What I would do is I would try to come up with a really nice little stuffer, something really, again, simple. Don't overwhelm the people. Something simple that kind of brags about the agency. Hey, we've come, we're really pushing technology to keep you up to date. If you get a chance, just go to our page, become a fan. Yeah, put those in there because obviously these people are going to open up the birthday card and look at it, and it just gives you a better, a chance to get someone to view it. So yeah, good idea. I would highly suggest doing that.